And hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the DAMIANO podcast. Today is going to be talking about the Geauga Lake Amusement Park history and how it started and how it ended. And remember, the park opened back in late 1887 as a family picnic park called Giles Lake. And then Funtime Premier bought it. And then in 2000, or actually back in 1925, the Dipper was added. And then, when it started back in 1889, it had a steam powered carousel because back then they didn't have, they're starting out, so steam was powering most of stuff. And then in 1925, the Dipper came in. But see, it because originally it was a just a recreational park as Giles Lake, and then Funtime Premier bought it, and then they just started adding rides. And the Big Dipper is one of the oldest rides who just came in, and that came in 1925. That came in, and they was established back in 1887. But then tragically, and then 2000 Cedar Point came, well, in 2000 Six Flags came in because I worked for Six Flags Ohio, and Jug Lake too. I worked there too, but basically it was for Six Flags Ohio when it came in, and that was in 2000 when Six Flags came in. So that park had many owners, and then finally it became Wild Water Kingdom after that, and that closed in 2016. After the right side closed in 2007 by Cedar Fair owned it, and they closed it. So basically, it I mean, it was. I mean, it was situated between Aurora and Bainbridge. It was in between the two. You had one side SeaWorld side, which was Aurora, and Jeff Lake is basically in Bainbridge. So it was established back in 1887 as a family picnic lake called Giles Lake, and then as time went on, Funtime Premier bought it, and the first ride was established in 1889. The first ride came was a steam powered carousel. But then, as the park grew, in 1925, the Big Dipper is one of the oldest coasters there. Is the oldest wooden coaster. But and then in 2000, Six Flags came in, and then and then one and then back and then in 2004, Cedar Fair bought it, changed the name back to Jug Lake Family Amusement Park. They changed the name back, and then they closed it in 2007. And then Wild Water Kingdom opened, and then it closed in 2016. So when so now it's just the vacant land now, just vacant land, and actually they started putting up condos there. They have a Myers there, and then we just found out that the former SeaWorld side is going to be a, a public park coming up. So so they're going to put it back as a park again, like it was back in 1887 when it started. So that's how they're going to be again. But they just, I mean, the demand wasn't there. The demand wasn't there to have two amusement parks. Hey, welcome in, welcome in. Hey, welcome in. So, so how you doing today? Welcome in. But yeah, I mean, just wasn't there. I mean, the park was established back in 1880, 87, and but I mean, when Cedar Fair bought it, we knew what was going to happen because when Cedar Fair bought it, we knew they was going to shut it down, and it just wasn't demand for two parks of that size. I mean, because I mean, Jog Lake grew, over time. They grew. I mean, they had the oldest coaster there, which is the Big Dipper that used to be there, but now it's just condominiums, and it's condominiums, Myers on the former Jug Lake lot, and that lot was big, big because I worked there as when it was Six Flags Ohio. I worked there, and we had two parking lots. Two parking lots. We had the main one and the one we have off to the side, which we only use that one when it's really crowded. But now it's just nothing. Now, I mean that park. I mean that land is just now just condos and Myers and. But they are going to build a park on the former SeaWorld side, which are going to keep the wave pool, and they're going to keep, the aquarium was, and that's going to be, yeah, yeah, yeah. Jug Lake was, I mean, it's in Aurora. It's actually situated between Aurora and Bainbridge, Ohio. Jug Lake was on the Bainbridge side, and SeaWorld was on the Aurora side because I worked for the two parks. I actually worked for SeaWorld and I worked for Six Flags Ohio. So when it was Six Flags Ohio, I worked there. So I'm a former employee there. And it was just, it was basically just sad to see it go. I mean, yeah, 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 yeah. Half of it was, the Jog Lake one, while the rides that was on Bainbridge side, and SeaWorld was on Aurora's side. And what hurt them is they couldn't expand that much because it was a very small land, and SeaWorld wanted to buy both sides, but they couldn't expand any more than what they did because it was a very small land, so they couldn't expand no more than what they did. So, in order for them, if they wanted to get new rides, they had to tear down the old one that was up. They have to tear down the old ride and replace and put something in its spot, like what Cedar Point did. But they could not really expand. So that's why when Cedar Fair came in and got it, they decided to just close it down. They decided, just close it down and just sell the land. So so that's why you see it now that it's got condominiums, it's got a Maya now on the former site. It's just, I don't know. It just wasn't. They knew what they were doing. They didn't want to have two parks that size. They had tenants started dropping off. It just, I don't know. Ever since, Six Flags came in and bought it, because they ruined it. They ruined it. We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming, that they was closing it down because I worked there on. I worked there when it was Six Flags Ohio. I worked there for a year, and then and then basically lost my job because they did not come back the following year. So that's when it became Jog Lake again, and they named it back. So back then, they used to have a dance hall. They used to have a dance hall there. They used to have all sorts of stuff there back in the 1880s and early 1900s. But a fire took out the dance hall, so that was never rebuilt. And then a tornado came through, which they had to rebuild. But the dance hall was never put back up because it was a dance hall, skating rink. Back then, back then they did. Back then they didn't have very much rides as they had. In the future, they only had like a steam powered carousel. The Big Dipper, the first wooden coaster, came in 1925. So it was. It was the oldest coaster they had there. But it just, I mean, I mean, they didn't like the competition because it was cheap to go there. You didn't have to spend $100 per person to go there. It was cheap. I mean, I used to go there all the time. I mean, I used to go there every summer to Jogger Lake. I used to go there every summer. But I mean, I went there on the last. Well, I did go there on its last season in 2007. I did go there on its last season, but now just. I mean, Cedar Fair got what they wanted. I mean, Cedar Fair got what they wanted. They figured they just close it down. They got what they wanted, and I mean, it just wasn't. I mean, the demand wasn't there to have two parks that size. Because I mean, Cedar Point's a big park up in Sandusky. I mean, up in Sandusky, Ohio. That one's the biggest park, which now co-owned by Six Flags. so it's so it's Six Flags slash Cedar Point. So it's like now. I mean, Six Flags Ohio came in, then it became Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. Then it became Jogger Lake Family Amusement Park when Cedar Point bought it. They turned it back to that in the last few years, and it closed in 2016. And then, well, actually, the right side closed in 2007, and the water park. Well, yeah, because it was competition for them because people could just go to a war for Jog Lake, and they really wasn't going to Cedar Point because I mean, Jog Lake had a very low cost. You can go in there for under $100. It was really cool because you can go in there for they have to spend $100 per person to go there, as they do now, with Cedar Point. I mean, so yeah, I mean, it was just competition. And when Cedar Fair bought it, they decided just it was time to transform it into a water park since they figured that the water park was more successful at Cedar Point. They decided to keep it as Wild Water Kingdom, but that too fizzled out in 2016. That too didn't last. They closed that side down as well. But what that side is going to be reborn. That side, I mean, that the former SeaWorld side is going to be reborn as a public park. But I mean, the wave pool will still be there. The wave pool is still going to be there. They're going to have the old aquarium where where you use to house the fish. That's going to be the restaurant. That's going to be a restaurant there. Um, they're going to make it to where you can rent. I mean, kayaks, boats, and and also the swimming too. You can actually swim in there. I mean, on the former SeaWorld side. I mean, they used to have when it. The only good question. Thanks for bringing that up. I mean, the only water park they have that we have is in Sandusky. It's called Kingdom Ka. Well, it's called it's up by Sandusky. Cedar Point has its water park, and and we have the other one that's right next door to it, the indoor water park. It's an indoor water park, and it's called no, it's called what's it called? Let me see. Let me do some reading. Let me see. Let me see here. Let me see here. I'm gonna do. Good question for bringing that up. I mean the Let me see indoor. Yeah, it's called Kalahara. It's called Kalahara, and it's up in Sandusky. It's right next to Cedar Point. It's right next to the Cedar Point. That's the indoor water park. In Kalahara. It's the indoor water park. It's right next to Cedar Point. So that's the only one that I know of that we still have up here. Other than Cedar Point's water park. But other than that, we don't have very few. I mean, we have very little. I mean, but that's the only. I mean, water park we have is that one. Kalahari is the only one we have left because I mean, Jug Lake had its water park, but that one, I mean, it called Wide Water Kingdom, and that was in Ward, but that closed in 2016. So that was so there's that, but that's the only one. I mean, hope that answered your question because that was the only one. Yes, yeah, yes, that's the thing. I mean, we have very little. I mean, entertainment like that. We have very. I mean, we have no more. I mean, we used to have a amusement park on this side. We had Jug Lake on this side, but now we got no. I mean, I mean, if we're gonna go to amusement park, we had to go all the way up to Sandusky to see the point. We had to go all the way up there because that's the only. Basically, that's the only entertainment we have. I mean, but that's why. But that's why downtown Cleveland. That's why the mayor of Cleveland is going to try to. Yeah. See, the only amusement park we have is Cedar Point. That's the only one we have is that. We have no other amusement park but that one. I mean, we did have, but it closed in 2007, which was Jug Lake. But I mean, but other than that, I mean, yeah, we got K1 Speed, we got that, but basically, we don't have any other. We don't have any other entertainment but that. We don't have, I mean, like K1 Speed, and that's about it. I mean, but from amusement park, we had to go all the way out to Sandusky, or we had to go to Kings Island, which is down by Cincinnati, or we basically have to go like to Pennsylvania if we want any, anything, or we had to go down, I'm like down by Cincinnati, or or basically like out of state. We have basically had to go like out of state if we want like amusement park, like if you want Six Flags, or if you want something like that, we have to go either down by you, or yeah, that's why we had to either go like to Georgia, or we have to go to other spots like Florida if we want the amusement park like that, or Cedar Point. I mean, so we have to basically travel. I mean, that's why Cleveland is trying to close Brook Lakefront, so then that way they can use that. They can develop that airport land as a place to, as a recreational spot for everybody. Yeah, yeah. Basically, if you want that, it's like it depends on where you're at because like it could be like 2 to 3 hour drive. I mean, to get out to Sandusky, and then you gotta pay for parking, and the price to get in is outrageous. It's over $100 to get in, over 100 to get in. I mean, Cedar Fair knew what they were doing. I mean, so you had to travel a long way to get out to Sandusky. You got to travel a long way to get out there if you want to go to amusement park. And the water park, same way. I mean, Kalahari is right next door, but it's an indoor one. But it's an indoor water park where you can actually, book your stay. I mean, you can actually, stay there, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it takes at least 2 to 4 hours to get there. It takes like at least 2 to 4 hours to get there, and it's just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just not fair how we have no entertainment up here no more. We have no. I mean, basically, really no an amusement park, no water park on this side of town. I mean, you have to go all the way out there if you want something like that. Sorry about that. But yeah, basically, that's what you have to do if you want. Basically, oh yeah, yep. I like that. Yeah, 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 that was the pup that did that. Well, yeah, that was on the door, yep, and she actually kicked the door open. She actually kicked the door open, yep. But yeah, but I mean, it was just a shame how they did that. I mean, and for a while they actually had, I mean, they the Bainbridge actually had to sit there because they had people breaking into it. They had people breaking into it. I mean, and the thing is though, I mean, they just redid I mean, they just redid those structures there. They redid all you know, they had the store there. They had the souvenir shop. I mean, I got two big stuffed animals from Jogger Lake. I got two other big stuffed animals. I mean, the Winnie the Pooh and the other one. I got those two. I got the Winnie the Pooh, and I got the other one, and that one was a collector's item because those guys was those big stuffed animals, those great big ones. So I managed to get them. So I managed to get two of them as I guess, as a souvenir, as a remembrance of that park. Because I mean, I used to go there a lot. I mean, I used to go there a lot. I mean, I remember one time I snuck in there on my day off. I snuck in there for free because I mean, me and this one snuck in there. We went back and we had our uniforms on to make like we was clocking in, and then we gone to the restroom to change out of our uniforms. We came into our street clothes, and then when we got done, we go back to the bathroom, stick on our uniforms, and come out. And make like we was punching out. That was some fun. I mean, that was. We actually snuck in there a couple of times on our day off. But I mean, it was. I mean, it was fun though. I mean, it was fun. But they had a lot of people sneaking in there. They're doing videos like on YouTube. It shows that we went in there. I mean, they snuck in there. I mean, Bainbridge had to be there a lot. I mean, they had to sit there outside of there to catch the trespassers when I'm going in there. They had like over 30 arrests in there. Over 30 arrests in there. They had of people sneaking in there. I mean, videoing it. It was just. It was just. Actually, it was on Life After People once. That park actually made it on them as the abandoned amusement parks. I mean, it actually made it on them as the ghost park because it was just. They left they left the Big Dipper there. I mean, you can actually see that was the only standing ride was still there. Was still sitting there for years before it finally got knocked down. But I mean, the Big Dipper was the oldest ride. I mean, it was back in 1925 when it first got built. They was a family picnic lake called Giles Lake first, and the Funtime Premier bought it, and then it went to, and then they built the rides, and then Cedar Fair. So yeah, it was. I mean, they were. Residents was afraid when when Cedar Fair bought it. They knew it was going to happen. I mean, they knew they was going to close it. That thing would have been 100. I mean, that thing was 100 and. That thing was like 120 years old. It would have been. It would have been 130 by now. I'm 130 years old by now. But it went as far as 119 though. It went as far as 119 years before it was shut down. It was just. I don't know, man. It was just. Cedar Fair knew what they were doing. They came in. They. It just wasn't. Just wasn't there to have two parks of that size. People were just not really. It just. I don't know. They tend started dropping off. Ever since. Six Flags took it over. It was just. Actually, it was good because they had a water camp where they had. Six Flags was Adventure, which they had animals. They kept the animals, Well, yeah, I mean, they kept the animals. I mean, on that side, they kept the whales. They kept, the. They had a dolphin show. They had the whale show. I mean, they kept all the animals that SeaWorld had. But then now, but I mean, they are going to keep the wave pool though. They're going to keep the wave pool, and that's going to be a swimming pool. They're going to keep the aquarium. That's going to be the restaurant. They're actually going to have a public park, so people can come in, and they're going to have the restaurant. They're going to have where the aquarium was. They're going to have the wave pool. That's going to be a pool, not a wave pool. It's going to be like a normal pool. But other than that, I mean, we just don't have any. I mean, are there any water parks down in down where you live? Because up here we only have that one, and that's an indoor one. But it's just not that. I mean, it wasn't. I mean, that's why people are moving out of Ohio really, because it doesn't have any. Really entertainment. I mean, you have to travel if you want entertainment. You have to travel. You have to go all the way to either Pennsylvania or down by Cincinnati's end. It's just not really. I don't know, if they want to get, I think if they want to get people to move here, then they should put up. More water parks. And well, no, they did was going. They was. Amusement park wasn't go back on that site. Yeah, yes, yep. See, that's what I'm saying. Do they have any water parks? Because I know, they did up here. They was gonna build up here. They was gonna put, amusement park back on that site as Triple Crown Amuse. I mean, Triple Crown Amusement. But Cedar Fair's like, no, they blocked it. Cedar Fair's like, no, they blocked the sale. They figure no. Nice, nice. But yeah, they was gonna have up here. They was gonna do it up here as Triple Crown Amusement. They bought the. They actually bought that former Jog Lake spot and was gonna build another amusement park here. But Cedar Point's like no. Cedar Point's like no, can't do that, cannot do that. They blocked them. They blocked their sale. Like no. Yeah, so they pulled out. So eventually they pulled out, and the land went back to being, an eyesore. They actually called it. I'm actually called an eyesore for a while, because they actually called it an eyesore for a while. They actually did that. They actually called it eyesore for a while. But because it was really not really. It was mm, for a while. It was vacant for a while. It was really. But once the city of Aurora bought it, then they decided to nice, nice. We have that too. And we have that. Now those we have. We do have pools. We do have swimming pools too here too. Outdoor pools. I know Beverly Heights has one. Well, in my former city has one. I know, but I don't know if Ovena has one. But I think we do. But other than that, this is why. It's not really much to do here. Especially that wise. Except for like K1 Speed, but that's in North Canton. Though. That's why I got to go. That's why I go too, because I raced there. So I mean that became popular too. But I mean, but other than that, I mean, we really have no amusement parks on this side. I mean, we have no amusement parks on this side anymore. It's just, I mean, Cedar Fair is trying to be dominant. I mean, Cedar Fair is really, I mean, Cedar Point is trying to be dominant and just basically being a monopoly. They're trying to be a monopoly and they're trying to take over this whole state. I mean, they're basically trying to, I mean, ran Jug Lake out. I mean, what hurt SeaWorld though is that boat accident of the Baywatch, of the one that came up in the up in the stands. Because I mean, that's what really hurt. I mean, SeaWorld was that because they had a boat accident they had at the water ski show. So that really hurt them. That's what forced them to close because of that. I mean, they closed because of that. I mean that killed them. But I mean, but they actually opened up after Jug Lake opened. They opened back in 1975, I think it was, or 1970. They opened SeaWorld, Ohio, on the other side of the lake. Yep, because that lake was so big, you can have two of them on the two different sides. You can have Jug Lake Amusement Park on one side, SeaWorld on the other, on the water side. So I mean, it was just. I mean, it was just. I mean, it was economical to go there because it was cheap, nice, and but now, I mean, if I want to go out there, I'm gonna have to go all the way to Cedar Point, like I did like I did in 24. I mean, I went out there to Cedar Point in 24, but now, I mean, and I would have gone out there last year, but with my eye surgery, I couldn't do it. So now I got to go out there this year. But I mean, so I have. I mean, but some people actually, I mean, boycotting them. Some people doesn't. I mean, don't want to. I mean, go out there. They want to even. I mean, support Cedar Fair because of that. I mean, but I mean, that was a very small piece of land, though. I mean, where Jog Lake was sitting on. That, I mean, that was a very small section until the year 2000 when Six Flags bought it. They actually, merged two parks together. And they actually merged the two parks together to where you could walk from one end, pay one price. I'm getting to both sides. You could pay one price for both sides, and you can walk across the boardwalk and go right over into, the former SeaWorld side, the Water Kingdom side. You can go right from Six Flags, from the right side over to the water park side, but you pay one price for both. I mean, that was pretty cool there to pay one price for both. But then, I mean, they found out there was competition, and that closed in 2016, which now just nothing really. I mean, and you had to go to all the way up to Sandusky if you want that. Then you got to go up there for them, and that's like at least 2 to 4 hour drive. I mean, at least that's like that because you got to go through. I mean, you got to make sure you have the turnpike money for the turnpike. Then you got to pay for parking. They got to pay for parking and pay to get in. So yeah, I mean, you're looking at. I mean, it was not. I mean, it was really. I mean, they are really overpriced. I mean, Cedar Point's really overpriced. I mean, really pricing themselves out of business because I mean, I knew what they were doing. I mean, knew what they were doing. They knew, I mean, basically what they were doing. I mean, they knew what they were doing on that. It just, I don't know. So yeah, I mean, that's why we have nothing on the side except for that, and that's up in Sandusky, Ohio. So you gotta go all the way to Sandusky if you want that. If you want, see, the amusement park. But it's like that's why I'm definitely be talking to a realtor and moving down and moving down to Georgia because I'm getting out of the state. I want out of the state because there's nothing up here anymore. There's no amusement that there's no amusement park up here. I mean, there's basically really nothing up here except for maybe like I mean K1 or like that. I mean, that's basically. I mean, yeah, you have like an ice skating ring or roller ring over by K1 Speed also, but I mean, but that's in the North Canton. But over on our side, we basically have like a ghost town. Nothing. You got that way. You got that way. I'm exactly trying to move close to trying to move close to there because I mean I mean, but even some of them are dropping off. I mean, even some of the Six Flags are dropping off. I mean, some of them are going under. I mean, some of them are really going under too. I mean, even Six Flags has been in the news lately. I mean, recently on that, on how they're struggling to stay afloat. I mean, I know they closed. I know they said they closed one of the Six Flags, which was like I think I know Six Flags Great America is open, but I know they closed one of them recently. I know they closed one of the Six Flags recently, but it's just. I mean, with the way things are going, I mean, people just don't have the money to go. I mean, no more. I mean, but once, because I used to go to, I used to work at, Six Flags Ohio. I worked at SeaWorld. I worked at, hey, that'd be a good one for the next episode. Ooh. Hmm. That'd be next one for the next. Ooh, that'd be a good one for the next episode. Ooh. SeaWorld member. Ooh, yeah. But yeah, I worked at SeaWorld, Six Flags as well. Actually, in Jug Lake, I was in the parking lot. I worked as a parking lot attendant, and then for Six Flags, I worked on the main gate as a ticket taker. So I worked there on both of them, and and on SeaWorld, I was just like maintenance. I worked as as a sweeper. That cleans up the midway, sweeps, sweep, with a dustpan and boom. Yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. I can bring. I can. We can do a thing. I can bring you in through a Riverside, and you can be my co-host. And yeah, yeah, I can. I can bring you in through Riverside, and we can have some fun. I can bring you in and the house where my other friend is. We went on the Riverside, and I brought him in as a co-host. I brought him in, and he was side by side. But yeah, that'd be cool. I would love that. I mean, we can. That'd be cool. That's right. Yeah, that's right. I mean, we be co-hosts. We can have our own little. Yeah, that's what we can do. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, because it's gonna be fun. It's like my next episode will be coming up, and be episode 12. Yep. But yeah, be episode 12, and yeah. Yeah, we can talk about it, and I mean, I can bring I mean, I can do it. I can send you the link to Riverside, and I can bring you in, and it may be real cool. But yeah, but I mean, other than that, I mean, it was fun. I mean, but yeah, now I mean those. I mean, but actually, if you look at it, some of the pylons were still there. That they actually kept. I mean, only half of the site is developed. The other side is still open lot. I mean, they don't know what's going to go in that other section of Jagger Lake, but I know, but on some of the sections, like one whole section used to be the on that 60s spot. We used to have, like old fashioned cars, and they used to have the 60s section. We call it the 60s section. That one on that section's now with the condominiums right on that spot of it. That one has that I mean condos right where that right where the and the Mr. Hyde's nasty fall was, where Superman was. That section of the park that used to be where like where the go kart track was. That's now the condominiums section now. But they did keep the name though. They did keep the Jug Lake name for the condominiums. They did keep the Jug Lake name on there as a way of paying tribute to the park. I mean, it's called Jug Lake Lane. It's called. I mean, they did keep the name. They did keep the name of it. I mean, for most of the for like the Mayos kept the name to the Mayos kept name on the name underneath as Jug Lake. They did keep the name too. But I mean, but now I mean, seeing it now, it's like I mean, unless you really grew up in Ohio, you will know what was there. You will not know there was that was once amusement park right there. I mean, unless you talk to some of the locals who went there, like me, who went there a lot, we know that we can just look at the site and go, well, yeah, there was a wide right here. This section had the Superman. This section had the go karts. It had the Mr. Hyde's nasty fall. So yeah, I mean, if you really grew up in Ohio and went there and know what that was once, that was once an amusement park. I mean, if you haven't grew up in Ohio or if you've never been to here, you would never know that. Looking at that site, you would never know that that was once an amusement park. I mean, it just. I mean, it just. I mean, it. I mean, but yeah, I mean that's because I mean we. I grew up there. I mean, I went there as when I was a kid. I mean, our school went there a lot. So I went there when I was, just like 4 or 5 years old. I went there. So yeah, I mean, I basically grew up in that park. Really, I mean, I basically grew up in Jungle Lake. I mean, I went there in last. I mean, I went there in last year. I went there when it was in 2007. I went there. I mean, I'm actually go to Water Kingdom too. I went to Water Kingdom too once. I went there once. I went to SeaWorld most of my time. I went to SeaWorld and Jog Lake and that. So yeah, I mean, I basically grew up in that park. I mean, it's sad that my future kids will not be able to see that park. It's sad that I won't be able to take my future kids there and say, "Hey, this is where your dad went." When he was little, he went here. So yeah, so it's a shame that we won't be able to take our kids there, but that's the way it goes. I mean, that's the way it goes with some of these. I mean, with this, I mean, that's the way it goes. I mean, but yeah, I mean, that's something we can, I mean, talk about and see when you want to come in, and I can bring you in, and I mean, I can send you the link to Riverside, and being me through that, since I can't do it on here yet because I don't have over, 50 subscribers, so I can't do it on here yet. But I can do it through my Riverside. I can't do it through YouTube yet unless I get over 50 subscribers. Then I can, being in right here like I am now. I can just being in a co-host right now. But I have to go through Riverside in order to do that, which I do have Riverside, so I can do that easy. But yeah, once I can do it. So yeah, we can talk about when I'll bring you in, and that'd be cool. We can, you'll be my, co-host, and sweet. But yeah, that's about all the time we have for today's episode. Tune in next time for the next episode. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode. And but yeah, that's about all the time we have for today's episode. And I will see you in the next episode.